안기네 겨울 눈꽃이 오롯이 앉으면 그 포근한 이미지 새바람도 채우니 참 아름다운 많은 꿈이 있는 이 땅에 태어나서 행복한 내가 아니냐 큰 바다에 또 푸른 하늘까지 이 땅 위에 사는 나는 행복한 사람 아니냐 강물빛 소리 산낙엽 소리 천지서방이 고우니 즐겁지 아니한가 바람꽃 소리 눈물 젖는 소리 아픈 청춘도 보니 참 즐겁지 않은가 참 아름다운 많은 꿈이 있는 이 땅에 태어나서 행복한 내가 아니냐 큰 바다 있고 푸른 하늘까지 이 땅 위에 사는 나는 행복한 사람 아니냐 그 추위도 견뎌낸 나무의 뿌리가 봄 그리운 마음으로 부르게 더 부르게 수만 잎을 피워낸 한 줄기로 하늘까지 뻗어라 많은 이 땅에 태어나서 행복한 내가 아니냐 큰 바다 있고 푸른 하늘까지 이 땅 위에 사는 나는 행복한 사람 아니냐
Let's give them another round of applause, everyone. That was an amazing and beautiful performance. Thank you very much. Once again, good afternoon. I would like to welcome all of you for attending the 2018 Worldwide Women's Peace Conference this afternoon. I am Sarah Sung of IWPG, and I will be the MC for today. The theme of this conference is the role of women for the realization of peace on the Korean Peninsula and the entire world. More than 360 guests from around the world, including women leaders who love peace, have gathered here for today. IWPG was founded in September of 2013 with a vision of passing on a world of peace for the future generations. It was established in order that the 3.7 billion women in the world will cooperate together with a love for humanity, contributing to world peace with the heart of a mother. Also, IWPG has hosted IWPG Worldwide Women's Peace Conference every year since September of 2014, providing a platform for harmony and cooperation for women leaders worldwide. IWPG is embarking on diverse activities to achieve peace based on women peace networks. In particular, IWPG is working closely to urge for the support of the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the DPCW, which is a new international law that can prevent wars fundamentally. At today's conference, we will explore the role of women in realizing peace on the Korean Peninsula and the entire world. But before we begin, I would like to make an announcement for translations today. For translations, number 1 is for Korean. So again, number 1 is for Korean translation. Number 2 is for English translation, for those of you who need English. Number 3 is for Russian, our Russian family who are here today. Number 4 is for French translation. Number 5 is for Arabic translation. Number 6 is for Mongolian translation. And number 7 is for the Khmer language translation. And number 8 is Chinese translation. Does anyone need that repeated? One more time. Okay, so number 1 is for Korean. Number 2 is for English. Number 3 is for Russian. Number 4 is for French. Number 5 is for Arabic. Number 6 is for Mongolian. Number 7 is for the Khmer language, and number 8 is for the Chinese language. So everyone will be able to understand our forum for today. Okay. First of all, I would like to introduce the distinguished guests attending our conference today. If we can give them a big round of applause as I introduce each guest. First, we have Ms. Hyun-suk Yoon, IWPG chairwoman, is in attendance today. We also have Dr. Rosalia Artigas Serrano, former president of Ecuador, is also in attendance today. We also have Dr. Tatiana Josipovic, the former First Lady of Croatia, who's also in attendance today as well. Welcome. We also have Ms. Zainul Galiva, the former Prime Minister of the Kyrgyz Republic, who's also in attendance today. We also have Madame Colleen Itali, the First Lady of Tuvalu, who's also in attendance today. Welcome. We also have Her Excellency Amina Lagumja, former First Lady of the Prime Minister of Bosnia and Herzegovina, who's also in attendance today. We also have Her Excellency Shanta Regmi, the spouse of former Chairman of Council of Ministers, who's also in attendance today as well. Shanta Regmi, Her Excellency Shanta Regmi, welcome. We also have Her Excellency Beatrix Rain, the former First Lady of Tunisia, who's also in attendance today. Did I miss anyone? Switch? Okay. And then Her Excellency Shanta Regmi. Miss Deborah Work. Yes, Deborah Work, Lugeseged Debebe, the Deputy of First Lady of the former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who's also in attendance today. We also have Dr. Paul Gal-Atem, the Deputy of First Lady of the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, who's also in attendance today. Dr. Paul? Yes, Dr. Paul, thank you. Welcome. We also have Carmen Luisa Velasquez de Vizbal, the Justice Supreme Court of the State of New York, the 11th Judicial District, who's also in attendance today, right over there. Welcome. We also have Ms. Lindita Ademi, the Professor of State University of Tetomo, who's also in attendance today. Welcome. We also have the Honorary Mutuzo Peace Regis, Minister of State for Gender and Cultural Affairs and Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, who's also in attendance today. Welcome. We also have the Honorary Lily Albino Akol, the Deputy Minister of Ministry of Information, Communication Technology, and Postal Service, Republic of South Sudan, who's also in attendance today. We also have Miss Anna Chervenakova, the member Human Rights Research Center, who's also in attendance today. Welcome. We also have Her Excellency Tahani S. Abu Daka, the former Minister at Ministry of Youth and Culture, who's also in attendance today. Welcome. We also have Her Excellency Habiba Sarabi, the former Minister of Women's Affairs at Government of Afghanistan, who's also in attendance today. Also, Ms. Ilona Zerlu, the Office Assistant, the third President of Albania, who's also in attendance today. And also Her Excellency Hugh Summit, the Secretary of State of Ministry of Women's Affairs, who's also in attendance today. Welcome. Let's give them another round of applause, everyone. I cannot introduce everyone at this time due to time constraints, but I kindly appreciate your understanding this afternoon. Thank you very much once again for everyone who's in attending the conference today. Here is a special guest with us today. Now, we'll ask former President Rosalia Artiga, the former President of Ecuador, to deliver her congratulatory remarks. If we can give her a loud round of applause.
Dear Chairwoman, Excellencies, women of the planet, there is an intrinsic value in achieving peace to make it prevail in the world. It's one of the great objectives that goes beyond borders, ideologies, differences that are established between people. In this regard, I commend the initiative of IWPG and the Worldwide Women Peace Conference that pursues and works towards world peace. We are aware of the creative role of women, of their capacity to give life, of their dedication to noble causes. That is why more and more it is necessary to recognize their role in society and to appreciate their contribution to these efforts, who start within their own home in the education and socialization tasks that extend to the school, where most of the teachers from different countries of the world are women. And that also establishes the leadership that women obtain in different sectors of society from the countries of the world. In these moments, we have to be aware that there are several factors that threaten world peace, and among them, I want to mention the little care we have taken with nature, with the care of what we call Mother Earth, which feels the abuse in the use of resources by a population in constant growth, which exerts pressure on this planet that has begun to show signs that we cannot continue uninterruptedly extracting and exploding that wonderful biodiversity that has been offered to us. I want to tell you that I come from a beautiful nation, Ecuador, in the middle of the world. We had the greatest biodiversity that you can imagine. We have a beautiful coast, the Andean Mountains, part of the Amazon Basin, and also the Galapagos Island. In this land, you can find the best roses, delicious chocolates, beautiful places to visit, indigenous towns, colonial cities, and we can talk a lot about biodiversity because Ecuador has the honor to have built a constitution for the first time in the planet that recognizes the rights of the nature. The woman, equal and different from men, diverse and endowed with enormous sensitivity of those conditions that the motherhood itself provides, with a comprehensive vision of what the planet is a fundamental player when it comes to finding solutions and contributing to that the balance be restored and for peace to prevail. For decades, centuries, and even millennia, women were subordinated with the consequence loss of self-esteem, of ability to contribute with solutions. But the time has come when not only it is necessary for everyone to find solutions, but also for their leadership to be taken into account so that we can build a better, more equitable, more just society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Arteaga. Let's give her another loud round of applause. Next, we will have another special guest. Honoring this time, we'll have Carmen Luisa Velasquez de Vizbal, Justice, Supreme Court of the State of New York, 11th Judicial District, deliver congratulatory remarks. Let's all welcome her with a loud round of applause, everyone.
안녕하세요. Greetings from the United States of America. My name is Carmen Velasquez. I am a Supreme Court Justice in the state of New York, the United States. I am a lawyer by trade, but I have the greatest privilege and honor that is to preside over people in the state of New York. I am an elected judge for the term of 14 years. First, I would like to thank Chairman Lee and our most wonderful Chairwoman Yoon for the kind invitation to come to this most beautiful country full of good and happy people. I am so impressed with the people of Korea. Last May, I was invited to a diversity conference at Columbia University, where I was privileged and honored to be presented with an award, so to speak, the ability for me to help others in peace. Imagine that, a group of people who will stand together for peace. And that is what HPWL does, and that's what these organizations do. We are, as women, we are not weak. We are strong and second to none. And we, as leaders of the world, because that's who we are the leaders in our family, we are leaders in the world. Let's remember, let's recognize it, and let's work for peace. As a parent, I want to make sure that my child doesn't see the horrors of discrimination or even the horrors of the scars of wars. Let's continue with our path of peace so that the next generation can have peace in the world. We have a responsibility, and that's why I'm so grateful to the Chairwoman, Yoon, because she is uniting 3.7 billion women. We can do this. I have been the voice of the world that I come from in the United States, about women and our purposes in life, it is not one voice that can be recognized. It is all of us that we have to stand up and rise to the occasion. Thank you for letting us get together. Now, please remember that the judiciary is a very important aspect of peace. We resolve conflicts when they have them. When I stand on my chambers, proud to be who I am, I preside with dignity and respect, and that's what we should do in the rest of the world. We as women must stand with respect, with dignity, and we must stand for peace for not only our children, for us, ourselves, and for the world. And we have to always remember that we are one. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, for that inspiring message. Just give her another big round of applause, everyone. Finally, we have Sophie Trudeau, the First Lady of Canada, who couldn't join us, but she sent us a congratulatory telegram. Let's watch her message at this time.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the 4th annual commemoration of the WARP Summit. I'm Sophie Trudeau from Canada, and I want to thank everyone here today for coming together to make peace a reality. You know, we face real challenges as a world today, and there is so much work ahead to build a future that is truly inclusive and truly just. But peace starts with each one of us, in our own homes, in our own countries, and in our own communities. And women leaders have an absolutely vital role to play in that. I deeply believe that if we can work together, we can start to heal this world, because deep down, our hearts all look the same on the inside. And that's how we start to come together as one. Have a wonderful summit. From my heart to yours, thank you.
Thank you, First Lady of Canada, Sophie Trudeau, for her inspiring message. Now, we will watch a video introducing the activities and works of peace that IWPG has done in the past year in many different locations around the world.
IWPG, a place where women around the world become one for peace. IWPG is a peace organization working to unite the 3.7 billion women in the world with a headquarter office located in South Korea. IWPG is a peace partner of HWPL, which has the answer for peace, and is one of the wings of HWPL. Every year, IWPG hosts and organizes events with HWPL celebrating HWPL Days. To spread the answer for peace in various parts of the world, IWPG has carried out peace activities visiting more than 100 countries in 6 years. IWPG is carrying out the following initiatives with the heart of a mother to realize peace in the world. We are taking the lead in the peaceful unification on the Korean Peninsula. Since November of 2017, IWPG has been conducting the 10 million signature campaign, urging for a peace agreement on the Korean Peninsula. This campaign, which has a slogan of urging for a peace agreement, denuclearization, and cessation of war, has spread rapidly across Korea as well as throughout the world. The campaign was also actively conducted overseas, collecting more than 2 million signatures. Moved by the peace activities carried out by the IWPG, women around the world willingly held signature campaigns in their respective regions. Through the 10 million signature campaign willingly held by the women in the Philippines as well as Myanmar, people around the world gather their hearts toward the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula. IWPG expressed its yearning for the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula by hosting the festival for the success of the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics. Also, they held a World Peace Walk at Imjingak, the closest area to North Korea, where the monument of the Declaration of Unification stands, for the success of the Inter-Korean Summit. Not only that, but the IWPG also hosted a conference for the peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula and presented the roles of women leaders for peaceful unification. We change the world with a heart toward peace. IWPG Peace Education is a program which makes women around the world become one with peace. The program consists of peace workshops, women's peace education, and peace lecturer training. IWPG Peace Education is evaluated as a practical program exerting influence on not only the individual, but family, society, nation, and the world. Also, influential women leaders and the heads of women organizations are taking the lead to learn about the spirit of peace from the IWPG. The Domestic Peace Protector Project is a project organized by the IWPG with the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family. It was carried out by all branches of the IWPG. Celebrating Memorial Day, peace-loving drawing contest was held. It raised awareness of the Korean War and instilled hope of peaceful unification of the Korean Peninsula to students. This event was held in main cities of South Korea with about 3,000 students in attendance. It increased the awareness of peaceful unification. We create an equal society. IWPG has prepared various commemorative events on every International Women's Day. In 2018, IWPG delivered its yearning for peace and advancement of women's rights through the Lighting Festival for World Peace, which was held simultaneously around the world. With the beautiful light shining in the night sky, it was a moment to reaffirm that world peace is possible when we gather our strength together. In South Korea, where freedom of religion is supposed to be guaranteed, a woman fell victim because her freedom of religion and human rights were not protected. This case was even reported in various countries as a human rights problem, drawing attention at an international level. IWPG held a memorial ceremony in remembrance of the late Miss Ji In-gu, who was a victim of illegal coercive conversion. Also, the IWPG is taking actions to denounce the reality of coercive conversion and is carrying out various campaigns for the advancement of women's rights and the freedom of religion. Celebrating the International Women's Day, IWPG Chairwoman Yoon attended the 62nd session of the Commission on the Status of Women. Chairwoman Yoon promoted the peace movement of the IWPG to various women leaders and asked them for their support for the advancement of women's rights in South Korea. The DPCW is the answer to prosperity, harmony, and peace for humanity. The Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, DPCW in short, is one of the peace initiatives carried out by HWPL, which is a peace partner of the IWPG. IWPG is carrying out various campaigns to urge for the implementation of the DPCW with women around the world, promoting its value as a solution to peace. They have organized the only peace conference in Korea and abroad to discuss ways to achieve peace by advocating for the DPCW. IWPG is establishing partnerships by meeting with women leaders from various sectors of society and making efforts to urge for the implementation of the DPCW. Former and current heads of state, religious leaders, heads of women organizations, and more are participating in various peace activities by becoming members of the IWPG Peace Advisory Council. Not only that, the members of the IWPG branch office in Malaysia officially registered the IWPG in their country. The IWPG Network Forum is a unique meeting of the IWPG where the members of the branch offices of the IWPG and many other women organizations gather in one place. At this forum, they discuss regarding the advocacy activities for the DPCW's 10 articles and 38 clauses, as well as practical ways to carry out peace initiatives. The IWPG network is beautifully created, transcending ethnicity and religion. The power of women, representing half of the population, is spreading across the world with the IWPG at its center. IWPG is spreading a culture of peace to the world that was smeared instead with a culture of violence, conflict, and war. Peace is something that all the people in the world want. IWPG is working to realize a new era of peace. When 3.7 billion women in the world become one with the IWPG, peace will surely be realized.
We should no longer commemorate wars, but we should commemorate peace forever. What we need right now is a firm faith, courage, and heart to take action so that the cessation of war and achievement of peace will be realized in this generation that we are living in.
I hope that all 3.7 billion women in the world will join hands with IWPG and carry out these activities together. Through these activities, I hope that we will not be able to live in a world of peace, not of war and conflict. Now, the host of today's conference, Ms. Yoon Hyun-suk, chairwoman of IWPG, will give a speech with a theme of Role of Woman and the realization of peace on the Korean Peninsula and the entire world. Please put on your translation devices at this time. Ms. Yoon, chairwoman of IWPG, is spreading the message that the innate power of women to empathize and contribute to one another could be a crucial ingredient to achieve world peace. She has worked on an innovative peace movement through forming a worldwide network of women leaders, and she has met many heads of states around the world and discussing with specific roles of women for realizing world peace. Let's give her a big round of applause.
사랑하는 평화 가족
Dear
여러분
loving peace
안녕하십니까?
family, good
저는
afternoon.
사단법인
I
세계
am
여성 평화 그룹
Hyun-suk
대표
Yoon, chairwoman of the
윤현숙입니다.
International Women's Peace Group.
2014년
Since the Peace Summit held in South Korea in 2014, where guests from every level attended,
만국회의를 개최한 이후
IWPG has been a wing of peace of HWPL and have had many results
이 대표님과
with
함께
Chairman Lee.
참으로 많은 평화의 결실을 맺어왔습니다. IWPG가
IWPG
평화의 일을
was able to
감당하고
manage
또
and
그
gain
힘을
strength in
펼칠
the work
수
of peace
있었던 것은
through everyone
여기에
present
계신
here
여러분들과
and through
더불어
the
이
strength
자리에
of those
함께하지는
who cannot be with us here
못했지만
today, but
평화의
is actively
세상을
working around the
바라며
world
활발한
for a
활동을
world of
펼쳐주신
peace.
세계 곳곳에 여성의 힘이 있었기 때문에 가능했습니다. 9.18
With the
평화
fourth
만국회의
commemoration of the September 18th Peace Summit, I sincerely thank everyone who has been together with IWPG to lead this world into a world of peace.
21세기
In the world
지구촌
of the 21st
시대는
century,
불과 몇 시간이면
people across the
대륙을
continent
넘어
are able to meet
지구
people
반대편의
on the other side of the
사람들을
globe
만날 수
in
있게
just a few
되었습니다.
hours.
뿐만
In
아니라
addition,
정보
with the
통신의
development of
발달로
information and communication,
인터넷을 통해
a large amount of
다량의
information
정보를
can be
실시간으로
delivered in real
전달받을
time
수
through the
있습니다.
internet.
그런데
However,
이렇게 편리한
in this world of
세상에
convenience,
우리의
we are
가슴을 아프게
constantly
하는 것은
exposed to heartaches such as wars, terrorism, abuse of human rights, and news of sad deaths of beloved children throughout the world.
쉼없이 접하게 된다라는 것입니다. 여러분,
Everyone,
우리는 여성입니다.
we are women.
여성에겐
For women,
하늘로부터 부여받은
we have
숭고한 모성이
sublime
있습니다.
maternal instincts granted
여성이
to
가진
women from heaven.
숭고한 모성을
The noble maternal instincts that women have
자녀들을
can protect
지키고
children from the front lines
인류를
of
평화의
war,
세계로 이끄는
and
가장
it is the most
강력한
powerful
힘이자
force and the
평화의
answer to peace
해답입니다.
that can lead mankind into a world
세계
of peace.
절반의 인구가
Because half of the
평화의
world's
잠재력을
population
가진
are women
여성이기
with the
때문에
potential of peace.
우리가 하나
If we
되면
become one,
인류는 전쟁
mankind
없는
can
평화로운
turn
세상으로
into
바뀔 수
a peaceful
있습니다.
world without war.
여성이 가지고 있는
Shouldn't women's
생명
capability
창조와
to create
사랑의
life
본능을
and the instinct to
최고로
love be
가치 있게
used
활용해서
in a valuable way for
역사의 한
peace,
획을 긋고
which is a great
역사의 빛을
contribution to
큰
history,
업적을 남길 수
an
있는
achievement that will become
평화의
a light
일에
in history?
동참해야 하지 않겠습니까? 이제 여성은
Now
더
women
이상
should no
무력
longer be
앞에
victims
희생되는
before
존재가 아닌
force,
내
but
자녀를
for my
위해
children,
인류의 생명과
for the life
안전을
and
위해
safety of mankind.
전쟁 앞에
Women
당당히
should be
맞서는
the mother of
인류의
mankind
어머니가
to
돼야
stand up to
합니다.
those who want to cause war and terror.
우리가 만들어가는
If women
전쟁
unite
종식
under
세계
one will,
평화가 지속 가능하도록
purpose
하는
and
방법은
voice,
바로
peace
평화
for mankind
교육입니다.
will no longer be a vague hope.
IWPG는 모든 자녀들과 여성들이
IWPG
평화
is working
교육을
to make
통해
sure that all
바른
children and women
가치관이 설 수
have the right
있도록
values
일하고 있습니다.
through peace education.
그리고
I believe
가정에서부터
that there is
시작된
no
평화
change as
교육을
fast as
통해
education.
우리 자녀들은 정서적 안전과
Must have
선악의 분별력을
be able
갖춰
to discern right from wrong,
바르게
the
이끌어갈
present and the future,
인재가 될
and they
것입니다.
need to become people who are capable of
교육은
leading the future.
세상을 빠르게 변화시킬 수
Education
있습니다.
is able to change the
이를
world
위해
quickly,
IWPG는
and therefore
HWPL이
IWPG is
평화의
taking the
해답인
answer to peace suggested by
지구촌
HWPL,
전쟁 공식
the
평화
Declaration of
선언문의
Peace
내용을
and Cessation of
근간으로
War,
평화 교육을
and is actively
실시하고
spreading a
평화
culture of
강의자를
peace in
양성하는데
diverse ways,
평화 문화
such as
전파를
implementing
위해
peace education
다양한 평화
and
사업을
training peace
적극적으로 실행하고
educators.
있습니다. 또한 세계 여러
In
학교와
addition,
업무 협약을 맺으며
we have signed
평화학교
MOUs
설립과
with schools
교육에 힘쓰고
and
있습니다.
are investing a lot of energy for peace
지금
education.
전 세계의 이목이
Currently,
집중되어 있는
The whole world
한반도
is
평화를
focused
위해
on the
IWPG는
unification of the
지난해
Korean
말부터
Peninsula.
한반도
From last year,
전쟁 종식
We have
평화
launched
협약 체결 촉구를
the 10
위한
million signature
천만
campaign
서명
for
캠페인을
urging for a
진행해
peace agreement
왔습니다.
for the cessation of war on the Korean Peninsula.
HWPL 이 대표님께서
This campaign was
8년
planned
전에
according to the
선포하신
Declaration of Unification
조국 통일
declared by
선언문에
Chairman Lee
담긴
of
내용을
HWPL
토대로
8
기획하고
years ago.
대한민국 전역에서
It started in
시작한
South
이
Korea
캠페인은
and has spread
전 세계
all
각국으로
around
뜨겁게
the world.
번져나갔습니다. 이러한 평화의
The desire
열망에
of the world
화답하듯이
for the end of war
올해 초에
on the Korean Peninsula
대한민국에서
has been
개최한
gathered, and currently
평창
it is being
동계올림픽은
achieved as written on the Declaration
북한이
of
단일
Unification.
팀을 이룬 평화
It was
올림픽이 되었고
climaxed at
이어서
Pyeongchang Olympics
남북
when the North
정상회담이
and the South Korean
성공적으로
teams
개최되는 결실을
joined together
맺었습니다.
and was able to produce good fruit.
어제는
Yesterday,
또 다시
we
남북
also
정상이 만나
had the
한반도
meeting between the
평화에
North
대한
and the
논의를
South,
하고 있습니다.
and they were able to discuss the
이제
unification.
남은 가장
Now, what
중요한 핵심은
remains is
한반도의 통일입니다.
the unification of the Korean Peninsula.
남북의 지도자는
The leaders of the North and the
부끄러운
South,
나라의 국민이 되지 않게 하기 위해서
in order to avoid being
국민이 원하는
leaders of an
통일을
embarrassed
해야
nation,
합니다.
they must unite,
이 대표님의 말씀대로라면
according to the words of Chairman Lee,
정치가 이루는 것이
unification is
아니라
not achieved by politics,
국민이 이루는
but
것입니다.
achieved by the citizens of the nation.
IWPG는
IWPG,
1000만 서명 캠페인을
through the
통해
10 million signature campaign,
국민에 의한 한반도 통일을 이루어가고
is achieving the
이
unification of the
대표님께서
Korean Peninsula
조국
through
통일
the
선언문에
citizens.
제시하신
And just as Chairman Lee
한반도
addressed
통일의
in the
로드맵
Declaration of
그대로
Unification,
한반도의 평화는
the
실현되고 있습니다.
unification of the Korean Peninsula is being actualized.
IWPG는
IWPG,
2018년 한 해 동안만
within
4차례에
2018,
걸친 지구촌
has
평화
been on
순방을
4 World
다녀왔습니다.
Peace Tours.
4차에 걸친 평화 순방 중에는 정말 많은
After
일들이 있었습니다.
the 4 World Peace Tours, many things have happened,
획기적인 것은
and within those 4 World Peace Tours, the most significant was the support of the 10 Articles, 38 clauses of the DPCW by 55 African countries in the Pan-African Parliament.
현직 대통령이
2 African presidents signed their support for the
지지서명을 한
DPCW and declared that it will be adopted into a national
이
declaration.
모든 일은
All these things
HWPL의 이 대표님께서
was planned by the chairman of HWPL, who has the answer of peace given from heaven,
평화의 사자들의 피와 땀으로
and
갖고 왔던
it was the
평화의
result
열매가
of
결실하여
the
현실로
sweat and blood
나타나는
of all the
순간이었습니다.
peace delegation workers.
여기에 모이신 그리고
Everyone who is gathered here today,
이것을 주목하고 계신 세계 여성 평화 가족 여러분,
and all the family of
지구촌의
peace who are gathered
전쟁을
here,
끝내고
in order
평화의
to end
세상을
global war
만들기 위해서는
and make world peace,
이 평화 선언문을
I
내가
first
먼저
must
알고
know this declaration of
이웃에게도
peace.
알리고
I must also inform my neighbors and let the
대통령도
nations and
알게
the presidents
하고
know
동참하게 해야 합니다.
and participate in this movement.
한 사람의
The strength
힘은
of one person
약하지만
is weak,
평화를
but if the
갈망하는
world's
지구촌 37억
3.7 billion
여성이
women
하나가
come together
되면
with the
그
aspiration
힘은
for peace,
폭발적이며
the strength will be
지구촌의
explosive
운명을
and it will
평화로 바꾸어 놓을
change the
것입니다.
destiny of this world into a world of peace.
여러분,
Everyone,
현재의 국제법으로는
with the current international
전쟁과
law,
분쟁을
we cannot
완전하게 막을
completely
수는
prevent war
없습니다.
and conflicts.
아직도 전쟁과
The reality
테러의
is that
분쟁이
war and
끊임없이
terror
일어나고
disputes
있는
are still
현실이 그
happening.
증거입니다. HWPL이 제시하는
The DPCW, the 10 articles and 38 clauses proposed by HWPL is a groundbreaking and substantial measure to fundamentally address the causes of war, terrorism, and conflict. Let us all join our efforts so that this law for peace can be passed inside the UN. I would like to request for everyone
전
here
세계에 계신
and all the
영부인들께
first ladies
부탁의 말씀을
in the world.
드리겠습니다. 영부인은
The first lady
부모이자
is the mother of the state,
국민의 어머니시요.
of the nation,
더 나아가
and
온
the mother
인류의
of the human race.
어머니십니다. 그렇기 때문에
Therefore, I would like to
IWPG와
ask for
하나가
you
되어
to become
주시고
one with IWPG
인류에게
and send
평화의
a message
메시지를
of peace
전해주시고
to mankind
평화의
and to help
교육과
spread
평화
the
문화
education of
전파에
peace and the culture
힘써주시기를
of peace.
부탁드리겠습니다. 뿐만 아니라
I also ask
남편이신
for you to have your husbands, the presidents,
전쟁
to
종식
support the
세계
DPCW
평화를 위한
and sign a letter
DPCW를
of support
지지하고
for the cessation of
동의하는
war
사인을 해줄
and
것을
world peace.
촉구해 주시기를 부탁드리겠습니다. 한국
There is a
속담에
saying in Korean,
나라의 왕은
the king of the kingdom
하늘이 정한다라는
is chosen by
말이
heaven.
있습니다. 이 말의 의미를 인용하자면
Taking this quote, I believe it means that the duty given by heaven to the
하늘이
leaders
부여한
here
사명은
is
이
to
시대에
create
전쟁
a world
종식
of peace
세계 평화를
through the
이루는
cessation
사명이라고
of war.
저는 생각합니다. 자국의
Please
국민을
protect your nation
전쟁으로부터
from
보호해
war
주시고 더
and
나아가
complete
인류의
the duty
안전과
of providing safety
생명을
and the
지키는
protection of the
사명을
life
다
of
해주시기를 부탁드리겠습니다. 또한
Also,
여기 계신
I would like
여성
to ask
단체장
all female
여러분들은
heads of
세계
organizations
평화
to take the
실현을
lead
위해
at the site
현장에서 적극적으로
and to let
앞장서
everyone
주시고
know that the 10 Articles, 38 clauses of the DPCW is the breakthrough solution for peace.
국민이 알게 함고 함께 지지하여 내
Please
나라가
make your
평화의
nations
선진국이
the
될 수
leading
있도록
nations
노력해
for
주시기를
peace.
부탁드리겠습니다. 그리고
This is
이곳을
the
주목하고
way
계신 전 세계
and the
37억의 여성이
3.7 billion women
우리와 함께
around the world
평화의
who are paying attention
지역이
to this place
되어주시기를 부탁드립니다.
must be the protagonist
그동안
of peace.
내가 쌓아온 지혜를 더하고
Let us gather the
내가
wisdom that we
일해온
have gained.
전문성을 발휘해서
Let us put
반드시
all our
내가
experience
살아있는 이
forth
시대의
and
평화를
achieve
완성합시다.
peace in this generation that we're living in.
여러분들의 열심과
With your diligence
HWPL의 이 대표님의
and
하늘의
Chairman
지혜와
Lee's wisdom of heaven
37억 여성
and the 3.7 billion women of the world
폭발적인 힘이
and the
더해진다면
explosive strength of the
이
youth,
세상의
if we can
전쟁은
bring all those efforts
반드시
together,
사라질
then
것입니다.
wars will definitely come to an end.
우리 다 함께
Let us all
평화의 사자가 되어
become messengers of peace
눈앞에 다다른 목적을
and
성취합시다.
achieve the objective that is before our very eyes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that inspiring speech. Next, we'll have Dr. Tajana Josipovic, the former First Lady of Croatia, deliver a speech with the theme of International Law for Achieving World Peace and the Role of Women. Dr. Josipovic has worked for a long time as a law professor, and she is publicizing the value of DPCW, which is a new law of peace in our generation. Let's welcome her with a loud round of applause.
Lady Chairwoman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation and possibility to have a speech on Women Peace Conference. It is for me great honor and great privilege. In contemporary societies, influence of women in all areas of activity is growing, from culture, education, science, economy, or sports to politics. There are more and more women occupying CAO posts, being ministers, prime ministers, or presidents of the states. Ladies having social repute and power, as men of that kind as well, have duty to do everything to make people not to make war, but to live in permanent peace. For humankind, there is no bigger evil than war. Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, prepared by the group of distinguished international lawyers, accepted here in Seoul by numerous political, religious, and other leaders from all over the world, is an excellent platform for achieving permanent world peace. Efforts by many leaders of goodwill to make DPCW more popular and better known all over the world and to be accepted by UN are important contribution to strengthen the culture of peace. DPCW should be a milestone of new international law. DPCW, if accepted as a binding international legal instrument, shall involve new morality in the international law, positioning peace as the highest value in international law and relationships. As a university law professor, for me, Article 6.2 imposes very big important because it imposes legal, non-military way of resolving disputes between states, and I consider this provision as crucial one. From my point of view, Article 10 is also very important. It promotes spreading a culture of peace, public awareness of a need for peace, and stresses the importance of education and free media for promotion the right to development of peoples and well-being of all human rights. The role of women for achieving all these goals is of extremely importance. Today, we are again together to remember all of us, especially those who have power, that literally every day, all around the world, in different armed conflicts and terrorist acts, many people are killed and wounded, cities and cultural heritage are destroyed. Here we are to warn again that killing, violence, and hate have never permanently resolved disputes between peoples and states, but always, even decades or centuries later, generated new wars and sufferings. Human beings, regardless of their nationality, faith, color, and other characterization, are equal and deserve to live in peace, worth of our human nature. Especially, we have to think on children. They are future of humanity. It is our duty not only to protect them, to educate them, to prepare them for life, but to teach them to live peacefully and to respect other human beings. Can you imagine how would today look human civilization if during all these centuries, governments and rulers, instead in arms and wars, invested their efforts, ambitions and money in development of life conditions, science, culture, education, or advanced technologies? Unfortunately, history of civilization is mostly history of war. And we have obligation to turn our future in future of peace and prosperity. Croatia, my country, not so long time ago experienced the war, and I can witness how much death, devastation, and pain we experienced, how much our culture and economy were devastated. For this, I wish that leaders who take decisions on war and peace be aware of horrible consequences of the war and to decide once forever to waive war as a tool of making policy by other means. The only legitimate and reasonable politics is to search for the permanent peace without any violence. Women, especially leaders in politics, but in other creative fields of activities, can contribute to implementation of peace, influencing other women and men to advocate DPCW to become a binding legal instrument. Their voice must be heard from political institutions, art scene, sport fields, from classrooms and from media to warn humanity that we must do everything to stop wars and violence once forever. This is the reason why I strongly support the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War. I think that provisions of the DPCW should be not only moral obligation, but to be binding rules for all world readers. Their dedication to peace leaders can show by accepting the DPCW in the UN and to apply strictly. Especially today, when the whole world is facing with great tragedy of refugees and migrations, mostly caused by war, we have the big obligation to fight for peace. A lot of families are separated, a lot of homes are destroyed, a lot of people left their country because of war, because of economics problem, and the problem of refugees show that there is no local war anymore. Even small war somewhere in the world is a global problem for all of us, and we all have to face this problem. So let us continue our fight for the peace in the whole world. Sooner or later we are going to win because we are one. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you for your inspiring speech. Due to a schedule that we are running behind, we are going to actually go into the presentation of the special plaques of appreciation. The special plaques of appreciation is symbolizing the hearts of gratitude for all women leaders who are working for the development of the IWPG and realization of world peace. IWPG Plaque of Appreciation is awarded to those who contributed significantly to the peace work of IWPG in this past year. There are a total of 8 recipients. When I call your name, please come up to the stage. First, we have Miss Almas Jiwani. If you can please come up to the stage at this time. We have Sister Claire Marie Therese. We also have Mr. Stanislas Woenga Kamengeli. If you can also come up to the stage at this time. We also have Miss Marcia Parcela Castro Alves, if you can also come up to the stage at this time. Miss Hoi Sokyevani, if you can also come up to the stage. Miss Hee Suk Kim, if you can also come up to the stage. Miss E Ran Yang, if you can also come up to the stage at this time. And Lendita Ademi, if you can also come up to the stage at this time. The Plaque of Appreciation will be awarded by Miss Yoon Hyun-suk, Chairwoman of IWPG. Let's welcome her once again with a loud round of applause. The first IWPG Plaque of Appreciation will be for Almas Jiwani. This award is hereby presented to Almas Jiwani in recognition of outstanding contribution to peace work and advocacy effort for the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, September 19, 2008, Yoon Hyun-suk, IWPG Chairwoman. Congratulations. The first plaque of appreciation was for Miss Almas Jiwani. I'll read it one more time. This award is hereby presented to Almas Jiwani in recognition of outstanding contribution to peace work and advocacy effort for Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, September 19, 2018. Next is for Sister Claire Marie Therese, the counselor of ICM Convent. Congratulations. Next is for Stanislas Woenga Kamengeli, Program and Communications Manager of Farapad. Congratulations. Next is for Marcia Parcela Castro Alves, Representative IWPG Peace Committee. Congratulations. Next is for Hoi Sokyevani, President of Positive Change for Cambodia. Congratulations. Next is for Hee Suk Kim, Yoso City Council, former City Councilor. Congratulations. Next is for E Ran Yang, the Director of Chungdo Tea Club. Congratulations. Next is for Lindita Ademi, Professor of State University at Tetovo. Congratulations. Please welcome me in giving them a loud round of applause at this time. Now we will have a commemorative photo shoot with all the recipients. If you can please hold up your plaques. Please hold up your plaques and smile to the camera, please. We will all shout out World Peace together for the photo. 3, 2, 1. World Peace. We will also, if you can hold up your index finger, and then we will all shout out, "We are one," on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We are one. Thank you very much, everyone. You may now return back to your seats. Now representing all the recipients, Ms. Almas Jawani will deliver an acceptance speech. For all those who are on stage, you can now return to your seats at this time. Let's please give a loud round of applause for Ms. Almas Jawani at this time.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you for the honor accorded to me. Chairwoman, this is not an award. This is a long list of things to do. Just kidding. Honorable ministers, your excellencies, my fellow peace advocates, it is with great happiness that we welcome you all to this particular conference. We understand Ms. Chairwoman's task, a noble task, is not an easy one. But her mission, her goals are very close to our hearts. That is achieving gender equality, fighting for the world peace, fighting for the women's rights and violence against women. Chairwoman Yan, we are with you, and we are privileged to walk with you on this journey. Your presence here today, or you were all welcomed with the boisterous, diverse mosaic of ambitious young girls yesterday at the summit. Now, I hope you realized that Mr. Lee, instead of giving them the ammunition, he gave them the flags of diversity. Instead of having tears, they had the smile on their faces. Do you agree with me? And thank you, sir. Instead of running for their lives, they were dancing. There was peace in the air. And most of you have heard there are so many different worlds, underprivileged world, the third country, the third world, the developed world. But now I call there is a fourth world, IWPL world. A world of peace, 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 unity, and love. So, before I end my very disclosed remarks, otherwise I have, normally give 40-50 minute speech, I would like to remind you that the peace begins with each and every one of you. Do you agree with me? Peace begins with every one of you. Your one action will have a massive ripple effect on everyone in the world. One woman, one power, one nation. Hallelujah. I ask you all today as my fellow peace advocates, join hands, and let us be strong together, and let us endeavor to make the three words, I am one, echo in each and every country, in every corner of the cities worldwide. Thank you, and have a peaceful day.
Thank you, Ms. Almas Jawani. Now we will have the IWPG Peace Education MOU signing ceremony. The IWPG is signing IWPG Peace Education MOU with peace academies and women organizations worldwide in order to promote human rights for women through peace education and to actively engage in peace activities in the entire world. Before I call the representatives of MOUs, I will read out to all of you the IWPG Peace Education MOU Certificate of Agreement. The content of certificate are as follows. The International Women's Peace Group and each school agreed to cooperate with each other for the realization of world peace and prosperity of mankind, and to continue to operate and develop IWPG Women's Peace Education for the advancement of humanity to a better future, especially for women's human rights. Each representative confirms this and signs this certificate. September 19, 2018, Yoon Hyun-suk, Chairwoman of IWPG. When your name is called, we ask that you please kindly step up to the stage. First, Ms. Zareen Naizi, Aladdin Academy of Pakistan, if you can please come up to the stage at this time. Mrs. Alice Chu, Shinhook Charitable Foundation, if you can also come up to the stage at this time. Ms. Shirakorn Sukin, if you can also come up to the stage at this time. And Miss Nui Nui Ong, if you can also come up to the stage at this time. Now we will have Miss Yoon Hyun Suk, Chairwoman of IWPG, come up to the stage at this time. You may all please be seated. And when you are all ready and prepared, you may sign the MOU in front of you. Thank you. The IWPG Peace Education MOU has now been signed. We will now take a commemorative photo together. Please make sure you hold the MOU. If you may all please stand. Hold up the MOU in front of you, and then we will take a picture together. And we will shout world peace on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. World peace. We will also take photos one by one together with the chairwoman. If the protocols can please guide them. Again, we will take photos one by one with the chairwoman at this time. Thank you. Let's give them another round of applause, everyone. Now, there is a special person who made this peace movement possible. Chairman Man-hee Lee of HWPL, who is also an honorary chairman of IWPG, is working for peace in the entire world with the answer to achieve cessation of war and world peace, a problem that no one in the world has been able to resolve. We will now have Chairman Man-hee Lee come up to the stage and deliver a review of today's conference. We ask that you please put on your translation devices at this time. Chairman Man-hee Lee of HWPL has constantly emphasized the role of women as a crucial piece of the puzzle to achieve world peace. He is currently on his way, so if you can kindly be patient, and he will be here very soon. How's everyone feeling this afternoon? Good? While we're waiting, shall we stretch for a little bit? Do you want to stretch? Okay, how about we stretch while we're waiting? Yes, that's okay. You can put your arms out. I know you've had a lot of sessions today. Thank you for being so patient this afternoon. I hope you are enjoying the lovely weather here in Korea and the food as well. Yes, you may take pictures. Take pictures together. Chairman Man-hee Lee is arriving soon, everyone, so thank you so much for your patience. Okay, everyone, Chairman Man-hee Lee of IWPL is here at this time. Let's give him a loud round of applause.
To all the women's group members, it's nice to see you. Greetings. I am Chairman of IWPL, Man-hee Lee. Today, when I look at all of you, I'm so happy to be here. In the world, the reality of this world, we have to think about it, actually. The reason why IWPL was established was for the safety of the world and for the sake of peace. But the cessation of wars and world peace. With that title, you cannot do this work on your own. And so the young adults group and the women's group, the two groups are the wings of HWPL. And because there are the young adults and women's groups, those two groups are considered as the wings of HWPL, and we've been carrying out the work together. If there's a reason for that, peace is achieved when there are no more wars. And if there are wars, the young adults stand in the front line of war. And who raised those children? The parents reared the children, but also the women. If there are wars, husbands and sons are sacrificed and victimized. It is such a heartbreaking situation, and therefore the young adults group and the women's group were established. And this is why I started to carry out the work of peace in the world. And this is why those two groups are necessary. It's not something that just happens by chance. One person's strength just remains as one person's strength, but if we gather our strengths together, that strength could become big. And so the women have to gather together, and the young adults have to get together. In the front lines of war, the young adults go out. And so the youth group and the women's group are necessary. It's not simply words. It really must be actualized. All the women in the world, everyone can become a member of the women's group. Everyone can become the family of the women's group. We must stand as one and proclaim one voice. And we have to achieve world peace through that. Don't you think so? This is what we need to do. The youth too. At the headquarters, they are writing letters to all the youth to become one. And if we can exchange email and communicate with one another. By doing so, women's group too, they should give emails to one another and converse with one another. And for a better and a brighter world, we need to work together. By doing so, everything will be accomplished. This morning as well, I wrote a letter. Who did I write a letter to? I wrote it to the former presidents. I've been doing that up until now, but it's not just once or twice that it ends there. To the presidents in the past, former presidents, what group do they belong to now? What kind of group are they belonging to, and what kind of work are they doing? Former presidents are the seniors to the current presidents, and they are in the position of advising the current presidents. And as a result, former presidents, it's not just a matter of becoming one group, but all the former presidents of the world should also become one. By becoming one, if they all work together for the work of peace, there'll be a huge force. They'll become a huge force, and they can do anything, any task. We can't just be spectators watching the work of others. We have to become one. This is what I'm trying to say. It would be so much better. With a huge strength, we can do anything in this world. There's no reason why we wouldn't do the work. What's the objective that we're trying to achieve? To bring wars to an end, to achieve peace, and leave an eternal legacy of peace to the future generations. That's what we want to do. Everything, when the night comes to an end and when the morning comes and the sun rises, now the old generation passes away and a new generation of peace must come. Why am I saying this? God too, when people sinned, God left. It says sinners, if they see God, they'll die. People of religion say this. That's true. If that's the case, people need to have their sins resolved, and furthermore, the way we can welcome God is to establish a world of peace. If we fight and kill one another, how can the holy God be with us? And therefore, God is a source of blessings, and if God is with us, then everything will go well. And so, all of us must hold hands and walk on this path of peace together. This is something that we must be mindful of. Whatever we do, whoever is standing in the front, the women's group should unite and walk together on that path. This work is, whether it be former presidents or the incumbent presidents, you must write letters, not just to the presidents of your own nations, but all the presidents of the world. There aren't that many actually in the world. It's less than 1,000. It's less than half of that. We could write letters to the former presidents as well as to the current presidents. A few years ago, when I first began this work, how can I start? There has to be something in my hand to be able to grasp to start this work. So, with the answer to achieve peace, the first place I went to was the current president of Ethiopia. He's 6 years older than me. Currently, he's 94 years old. Isn't he old? And because he's old, he's riding on a wheelchair. And at that time, we made a promise. Let's achieve peace together. We made a promise. And because he's older, I said he's my older brother and I'm my younger brother. And wherever we went, I did this. And now, the whole world, there's probably nobody that I don't know. The youth, the women's group, IWPG, who has those two wings. Now, we could really fly and soar. When we become one, everything will be accomplished. The biggest work is God, who is a source of blessings, who left because of sin. If He returns, that will be the greatest task. And if we don't go to war anymore and achieve peace, that will also be a great task. Without those things, nothing else is possible. Those are the things that need to be accomplished. Our nation, the fact that it's been divided, I know why it has been divided. It's not just our own will that the nation has been divided. When I went to Germany, the leaders at that time divided our nation. And the fratricidal war, the tragedy of it, I know why we have it. It's not that we went to war on ourselves. Our nation, who couldn't even make wars at that time, who couldn't make guns at that time, why would we go to war? because Japan was taken by the United States to take half of our nation. They triggered that war. And I know so well the background of it. And we cannot keep on going with this kind of world. Even if people try to stop the nation from making nuclear weapons, did the North stop making the nuclear weapons? But now, on its own, they relinquished the nuclear weapons, and they're holding hands. The leaders of North and the South are holding hands. It's not something that people are just being commanded to do. But when I went to Romania, the National Assembly, the 25 nations that came out from communism with the youth at the 25th commemoration, I made a request to the presidents of the 25 nations. I asked the youth of those nations to join the IPYG and to do the work of peace together, and the women of those nations to join the IWPG and do the work of peace. And the other thing that I asked was, the people who want world peace, don't you think that the Korean Peninsula also needs unification, a peaceful unification? You already tasted both democracy and communism, and therefore, please support us so that we can have a peaceful unification in the Korean Peninsula. And after that, every time I met people, I would ask questions. And even now, they have become democratic nations. But the North Korean leader held the hand of the South Korean leader. Whenever we do events and host events, not too long ago, whether it be the citizens of the North Korea or citizens of South Korea, we all want a peaceful unification. Why wasn't there a peaceful unification up until now? Who's been blocking it up until now? So I said the leaders on both sides. If you give me one day, in one day, I'd unify this nation. That's what I said. And also, a month or 2 months later, the North Korean leader came and held the hand of the South Korean leader. It's possible if we try. If we don't try, it won't happen. More than it, I don't fear anybody in this world. The only one I fear is one person above. There's nothing that we cannot do. If it's a good thing, then anything, whatever it is, I'll do it. And this year, I've said that it is one of the most important years. Just like this, everyone, to all the people in your nation, please convey this news, and wherever you go, whether it be through letters or through emails, let us work together to become one. There's more strength if there's more than one, and we won't waver. Our objective is peace. Let us achieve this world of peace, and if we can leave it as a legacy for the future generations, there is no greater work for the future generations. Anybody it may be. We shouldn't think of ways of conflict. We should go out towards the path of peace. I believe in the two groups, the women's group and the youth group. These two groups, if they work together, everything will go well. To the former presidents of each nation, as well as the presidents of National Assembly, we sign MOUs and everything is going well. If this is the beginning, then it will become even greater. to all the former presidents, I'm asking them to become one. If that happens, then who would say or who would reject the request of former presidents? And if we put our efforts together, peace will be achieved quickly. This is why I'm saying it again and again. To the reporters, I say this often also. We go to long distance, and this is not everything. We have to unite in order to achieve the work of peace. The DPCW, the 10 articles and 38 clauses, if we do according to this international law, then everything will be achieved. If we don't do it, then peace won't be achieved. It could be achieved. This is a work that everyone must work towards and acknowledge. There is not one person who went against this. And just because you're the incumbent president doesn't mean that you would reject this. For all people, we have to be complete, and we have to make everybody acknowledge it and prepare for it to be submitted to the UN. Even if you're a large nation, you must acknowledge this. You can't just think about your own authority at this point. At one time, if a war takes place, they don't prevent the wars. They're busy trying to sell weapons. So why would they stop wars? But we have to solve the fundamental problems. We cannot have massive weapons of destruction. And we shouldn't. Why should we have soldiers? They should just do other work. Why should we should make weapons into life appliances. Those weapons are made for invasion. So those are kind of things that need to come to an end. And therefore, everyone, actually, women can do greater things than men. Why? Because men listen to the words of women. That's why. And so, everyone, if you can unite, let us achieve peace. Do you understand? Whether it be women or youth, HWPL, I want to depend most on are actually the former presidents. I believe they have the strength. And so let us achieve the objective. And so let's say we are one. Thank you very much.
Let's give Chairman Lee another round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much for that inspiring message. Sadly, Chairman Lee and Chairwoman, because of their next schedule, are unable to be with us for the rest of the forum. But let's promise each other that we will really unite with the 3.7 billion women of the world so that we could fulfill peace together. Next, we have Miss Landita Ademi, the professor of State University of Tetovo, who will deliver a speech with a theme of women's efforts for the implementation of peace activities. As a member of the Peace Advisory Council of IWPG Tetovo branch in Macedonia, she has given peace lectures for women, engaged in signature campaigns, and organized peace walk events. At this time, please join me in welcoming Miss Landita Ademi.
감사합니다. Today, I, as one of the 3.7 billion women around the world, a member of IWPG, am truly honored to be here and to share my experiences with you. First of all, I want to thank His Honor, Mr. Chairman Lee, for the warm welcome at this incredible event. And I want to congratulate him for the wonderful task that he is leading. Also, I want to thank the chairwoman of IWPG, Ms. Yoon, who allowed me to share my experiences in this forum. I am a professor of the University of Tetovo, a university which is a symbol of the ethnic Albanians in Macedonia. This university became a symbol of ethnic Albanians because it struggled too much to survive and was also the main cause of the armed conflict we had in Macedonia in 2001. So with this background, I decided to be a member of IWPG because I was a person who experienced discrimination, a person who saw the cruel scenes of war, and I was absolutely sure that I didn't want to offer this kind of world to my children. So one day, a friend of mine, Ms. Besa Kadriou, she's not here today, unfortunately. She is the president of IWPG Peace Committee of Tetovo, motivated me to be part of this family, to solve conflicts together with these women which have one thing in common, and that thing is a mother's heart. And a mother's heart can never be ignored. So immediately in 2016 was inaugurated the Tetovo IWPG Peace Committee. However, it was not easy to promote peace activities in Macedonia because it's harder for countries who have experienced war to start over and create a new life. In Macedonia, people were concerned to find jobs, feeding their families and make a living, and doing peace activities was impossible. But little by little and step by step, we started to build peace and supporting people who were working for peace. So as a first important step we made was founding and supporting the first women's football club in Tetovo, which started as a great wish of the girls who are also members of IWPG there. This club hardly survives because we don't have any support from the Ministry of Sports and Culture there. But as Mother Teresa said, don't wait from leaders, do it by yourself, from person to person. So we are working like that, without any governmental or financial support, but still surviving and still winning football matches there in Macedonia. Thank you. When I attended the third annual commemoration of September 18 here in Korea, we had a meeting with our branch manager and we promised to organize events and holding 3 main events in a year. Following the pledge, we organized the March 8th International Women's Day event, the 5th annual commemoration of Declaration of Peace and Peace Walk, and the 10th million signature campaign for urging for a peace agreement for the cessation of war on the Korean Peninsula. Among all those activities, I want to share the activity of the signature campaign. I remember one of the people who hesitated to sign asked me how much we are paid to be part of this signature campaign. I smiled and I asked him, how much would you pay for your freedom if you were in prison or war? Then he said, yeah, I would give my life just my children to be free and live in peace. So there's no price for peace. You can't buy it, you can't sell it, but you have to work hard for it. Lately, the next also very important step we are doing are IWPG Peace Lectures training. I remember the first day when I started with the lectures, I knew I was in front of young people, so I used the quote of Chairman Hee Lee, and I said, "You are the future of the world. A single individual is weak, but if all the youth of the world unite as one, no one would be able to break them apart." Thank you. After I said this quote, I saw another attitude and joy in their faces and I realized that these peace lectures will change and fill them with the values of peace. The other peace lecture we had was in the Southeastern European University, and that day we invited very important people in the field of politics, education, art, sports, university professors, and more than 80 other students who were inspired by saying and listening all those peace messages. After the peace lecture, the faculty signed an MOU with the IWPG to adopt the peace education curriculum to be included in our universities. So finally, me and Bessa, we are going to teach our students that peace comes from being able to contribute the best that we have and the best that we are. We are going to improve them, that IWPG and Peace Committee represent a stunning example of how the world should be. A world that protects nothing more and nothing less than the values of peace. Together for peace, we are one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that inspiring message. Now, yesterday morning, an event called the Peace Conference of Current and Former First Ladies of the World was held, and these are some highlights of yesterday's conference. Let's look at the pictures together here. There was an introduction of the guests here together with Chairwoman. There was also the discussion of the IWPG peace initiatives. Now, this was a gift presentation ceremony together with the faces actually embroidered here on the necklace. Here is also another picture of the gift presentation ceremony, and also the First Ladies Peace Network pledge ceremony. The general comments from the IWPG chairwoman, and a commemorative photo. So those were some highlights from yesterday's events. The most important achievement of this conference is that the IWPG Peace Network of First Ladies has now been established. This is a first step of cooperation and alliance taken by First Ladies around the world who aim to achieve peace as women leaders who love their nations and people. At this time, with the First Ladies on the stage, we will start the inauguration ceremony of the IWPG former and current First Ladies Peace Network. When your name is called, please come up to the stage. First, Dr. Tatjana Josipovic, the former First Lady of Croatia. Ms. Deborah Work Lulesiket Debebe, on behalf of Roman Tesfaye Abene, former First Lady and CEO of Ethiopia. We have Ms. Jano Galivia, former First Lady of the Kyrgyz Republic. Also, Her Excellency Amina Lugobidijda, former First Lady and Prime Minister of Bosnia and Herzegovina. We also have Her Excellency Beatrix Rain, the former First Lady of Tunisia. We also have Madame Koling Italeli, the First Lady of Tuvalu. And we also have Dr. Paul Gal Atem, the Deputy of Mary Ayan Mayardit, First Lady of the Republic of South Sudan. Now the IWPG Peace Network of First Ladies has been officially established. Let's give them a big round of applause, everyone. We will take a commemorative photo together to leave this moment forever. Okay, we'll take a photo. Oh, stay there real quick. Okay. Can we get Shanta Regami also on stage? Thank you very much. At this moment, there are so many children by war. What do our children think about peace? By the end of this meaningful conference, we are going to all be one mind by doing performance of peace. After watching a touching video, I hope all of you with open mind will enjoy this harmonious time.
Children from nations with war drew peace.
This is the boat that brought me here. The army threatened us with guns and fire. It seemed like fireworks, but I was so afraid.
In the world, 1 out of 6 children are living within war.
People attacked our house and sent missiles. Missiles need to be gone.
These are houses in Syria. My friends lived there, and we had fun. But now, I can't see them. I hope to see them again.
Some say that this is a legitimate war. IWPG says in no case should war be lawful, because children cannot be left within heartlessly falling bombs that are shielded by the law.
I wrote a letter to the soldier that we need to fight for peace and not war. I wrote eternal peace because it is important to achieve peace and maintain it.
The 10 Articles and 38 Clauses of the DPCW is an eternal promise of peace we can make for our children, and is a special duty of women to create peace in this era. If the 3.7 billion women in the world become one with IWPG, we can change the sounds of artillery that prevented the child from sleeping into the sounds of fireworks commemorating peace.
Peace is holding hand in hand, and then from there, love starts. These are hands for peace. There has to be more hands for peace. If we are together, we will become stronger.
Please hold the hand of peace reached out by the children.
Please hold our hands.
together.
This is our time to rise above. We know the chance is here to live forever, for all time. Hand in hand we stand, all across the land.
We can make this world a better place in which to live.
Hand in hand we can start to understand.
Breaking down the walls that come between us for all time. Every time we give it all, we feel the flame eternally inside us.
Lift our hands up to the sky. The morning come helps us to live in harmony for all time. Hand in hand we stand, all across the land.
We can make this world a better place in which to live.
Hand in hand we can start to understand.
Breaking down the walls that come between us for all time.
If you haven't already done so, please turn on the flashlights on your cell phones and make sure to sing along, everyone.
Hand in hand we stand, all across the land.
We can make this world a better place in which to live.
Hand in hand we can start to understand.
Breaking down the walls that come between us for all time. Hand in hand,
Down,
hand in hand, hand in
Wow, that was truly beautiful. I feel like a world of peace is already here. This is truly an inspirational moment. We are the ones who will achieve peace, and we are the hope of the future. Let us become messengers of peace and eternal light. But before we take our commemorative photo, I would like to say hello to Her Excellency Shanta Ragami, the spouse of former chairman of the Council of Ministers, and all the First Ladies and the former First Ladies who joined us here today. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We will now take a commemorative photo all together to remember today's conference. If everyone can please stay seated, look forward to the photo, the camera in the front, and we will take a picture together. With bright smiles, we will all shout out world peace on the count of 3. Okay? 1, 2, 3. World peace! We'll take one more some of you are already doing it. Go ahead and put up your index finger with one. And then we will all shout out with our loud voices, "We are one." On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We are one. Thank you so much. This is the end of the Worldwide Women's Peace Conference. Thank you everyone for joining us today.